Hey everyone, and welcome back to Battleborn. I've got a new build for you. This one is for Whiskey Foxtrot, and I call it Sticky Situation. With this build, you have high damage potential, and you can hit players with your Sticky Bomb to get them slowed and secure the kill. So one thing to be aware of with this build, and with Whiskey Foxtrot in general, is that he's a bit of a slow starter. So you're going to be a little bit weaker at the start of the match, but once you get up to about level 5, level 6, you're going to pick up your ultimate and some really strong Helix augments, and that's going to make you really powerful for the latter half of a match. So it's not just as simple as getting your level up and then you've got awesome damage. With Whiskey, you've got to work for it, and there's multiple things you need to be aware of to get that extra damage. So the first thing is combat rhythm. Whenever you can, kill something. Buildable, minion, player, it doesn't matter. Kill anything and you get combat rhythm. It increases your damage by 25% for 10 seconds. It's a huge boost. The second thing, because of the Helix choices we make, our scrap cannon is going to debuff targets so they take more rifle damage. So if you can, hit something with the scrap cannon so it gets that debuff on it and takes that extra damage. And the third thing you need to be aware of is critical hits. Whiskey is really good at getting critical hits. He's very accurate with his rifle, and he needs those critical hits to do that massive damage that he's capable of. So get good at hitting critical hits, learn where they are on every single Battleborn, and it's going to make your damage soar. Alright, so if this sounds like your type of build, let's jump into the Helix, and I'll show you how to set it up. Alright, level 1, we're going to the left with Weighed Down. That makes it so anything we stick our Sticky Bomb 2 is going to get slowed for 3 seconds. Level 2, we're going to the left again with Swiss Cheese. That's that debuff I was talking about. You hit anything with your scrap cannon, it's going to reveal it, so they can't just stealth away easily. And they're going to take extra damage from your tactical rifle. Alright, level 3, this one comes down to personal preference. If you like close quarters combat, you want to be in the thick of things, go with the red dot sight. It makes it so you get increased scoped move speed. So when you're looking through your scope, you still move around super fast. Makes it very good for close combat. If you prefer to be more at range, go with scoped up. It increases your zoom distance and your accuracy. So you're going to be more accurate and be able to hit things from further away very easily. The only problem with scoped up is if you get rushed, it's really hard to hit something because the scope is really good. So if you get into close quarters combat, you're most likely going to have to fire from the hip to be effective, so just be aware of that. Level 4, we're going to the left with Triple Threat. Now instead of shooting 1 Sticky Bomb, we shoot 3. So that makes it much easier to hit your target with your Sticky Bomb. Level 5, we're going up the center with Killer Regen. Anytime you kill anything now, you're going to get 220 health over 10 seconds. So 22 health regeneration per second. It's fantastic sustain. You blow up a minion wave, you're getting tons of health. You kill anyone, you get health. It's just constant health all the time. It's great. Level 6, we go up the center again with Napalm. Now when our Sticky Bombs explode, they leave a circle of napalm on the ground, which does 520 damage over 6 seconds. Because of our triple threat, we can spread out our Sticky Bombs and get napalm all over the place. Great for taking out minion waves, great for denying areas, and just great for doing extra damage to enemy Battleborn. So it's awesome all around. Level 7, we're going to the right when 3 just isn't enough. Our tactical rifle normally shoots 3 burst rounds, or 3 shot bursts, I should say, and now it's going to shoot 4 shot bursts. Level 8, we're going to the left with Spread Shot. That increases the spread and density of our scrap cannon shots, makes it much easier to land them, and we want to do that because we want that Swiss cheese debuff on our target. Level 9, we're going with Swift Stickies on the left. That reduces Sticky Bomb cooldown time by 25%. And finally, level 10, we're going to the right with Overoverdrive. That increases our ultimate's magazine size to 100 rounds from 75, and it was already awesome. 100 rounds is just ridiculous. Alright, so those are my Helix choices. Let's go to the gear. This first set is going to be for Incursion and Meltdown game modes. It's more expensive. First item is Artificial Vitae, 7 health regeneration per second. Second item is the Galahadric Gun Grease. That is Whiskey's legendary item, so you'll need to complete all of his lore challenges to get this. Increased reload speed, reduced recoil, and whenever you reload an empty magazine, it grants 15% fire rate and reload speed for the next magazine. So whenever you can, shoot out all the bullets in your current magazine, so when you reload, you get the full benefit on the next magazine. And that's something I always forget to do, and I've been trying to break the habit. So don't be like me, shoot out all the bullets, get that full bonus for having the empty magazine. I shouldn't say full bonus. You either get the bonus or you don't. So make sure you only reload on empty magazines if you can help it. And third item is the Vow of Zealous Fury. This one's from Regen. Attack speed, critical hit damage, and stacking attack speed every time you use a skill. Up to 5 stacks. Alright, that's for Incursion and Meltdown. If I go into Capture, I like the Artificial Vitae, 7 health regen per second. I like the Hurricane, 8.4% attack speed, and I like the Sketchy Boilermakers. This one's a freebie, 5.6% movement speed at the cost of heal power, which does not affect Whiskey at all, not even his killer regen. So no negative whatsoever from that. Alright, so those are the Helix choices I make, and the gear I like to bring with me. Let's jump to some clips, and I'll explain to you how the level progression works for this build. At level 1, it's all about getting experience and leveling up. Use your Sticky Bomb to do AE damage on minion waves and try to take out as many of the minions as possible so you get kill experience and not assist experience. If your teammates engage someone out of position, then try to land a Sticky Bomb on them if it's not on cooldown so they get slowed and can't escape. Your damage is a little on the low side at this point, but it's still plenty to help out your teammates get those kills. At level 2, you pick up the Swiss Cheese Helix Augment. Now whenever you engage a player, you should start out by hitting them with the Scrap Cannon, if possible, to get the debuff on them. The only exception to this rule is if you're fighting a healer or someone likely to be healed, and you want to save the Scrap Cannon for the wound debuff. Because there's nothing more frustrating than having someone just about dead, only to get a huge heal, and then they get away. So with the wound debuff, that heal's not going to be as strong, and you might still finish the job. At level 3, you either get the red dot sight or the scoped up Helix. I tend to switch between these two options often, and while I don't think one really outshines the other, they certainly have an impact on your playstyle for the match. Whichever you choose, neither is likely to be a game changer at the moment, but they become very strong tools later on when your damage potential is much higher. You're still a bit on the weak side at level 3, so just hang in there for just a few more levels and it'll start to turn around for you. Sometimes it can be frustrating to play these characters that have a slow start, but man, when you get to those higher levels, it's all worth it. At level 4, you pick up Triple Threat, which lets you shoot out 3 Sticky Bombs instead of 1, and that gives you room for error when trying to land a Sticky Bomb on someone for the slow, since you only need to land 1 of your 3 attempts. Having 3 bombs also helps a little on clearing minion waves, but not that much, since each individual explosion does less than the 1 explosion used to do. However, all 3 combined will do more damage. This is another augment that doesn't make a big difference now, but it'll make a huge difference later on when combined with other augments we're going to pick up. So it's kind of like a decent upgrade now, but later on it's going to be huge when we pick up the Napalm. Level 5 is your first really big level as you pick up the Ultimate, which has the power to absolutely shred people. And you get Killer Regen, which gives you amazing sustain throughout the rest of the match. When using the Ultimate, I like to activate it early before I engage my target. Then, while the Ultimate is running, I hit that target with my Sticky Bombs, and then I just shoot it like crazy while they can hardly move. On many characters, this may as well be a guaranteed kill as long as you're a decent aim, because the amount of damage they're going to receive is just ridiculous. Level 6 is another big level as you pick up Napalm. The Napalm works great with the triple threat Helix, allowing you to drop pools of bad all over the place. It is important that you do spread out those pools because their damage doesn't overlap. So if you have 3 pools in the exact same location and someone steps into it, they're only going to take damage from 1 pool. So make sure you get that napalm in as many places as you can, so as they move around, they just refresh that napalm damage. Level 7 turns your 3-shot bursts into 4-shot bursts, and level 8 increases the spread and density of scrap cannon shots, so you can get that Swiss cheese debuff on people easier. So both of these work well to increase your damage even further. You likely have your legendary gear active by now as well, so as long as you're doing full reloads, you're getting bonuses from that as well. Your damage is really ramping up. Level 9 decreases the cooldown time on your sticky bombs by 25%, which means more opportunities to slow and lots more napalm all over the place. For me, it also meant a lot more practice with aiming them because I absolutely sucked at landing sticky bombs, and the more often I got to use them, the better I got at landing them. I find that aiming slightly to the right of my target helps me land them more often because Whiskey shoots his sticky mines from his left side and they seem to drift towards the aiming reticle, so aiming slightly to the right helped me land them much more frequently. The damage from landing all 3 is pretty big, and there's nothing more satisfying than sticking someone with all 3 bombs and then running away as they explode into red mist. Level 10 gets you Overoverdrive, and it just feels like overkill to me, which I guess is kind of the point. 100 rounds on your ultimate absolutely obliterates anyone, especially if you sticky bomb them before you begin shooting, like I tend to do. Also, if you can pull it off, get a combat rhythm going before you activate the ultimate, and it's just not even fair how fast even a full health Montana will die. Well, there you have it, the sticky situation build for Whiskey Foxtrot. I've seen a lot more Whiskey since he got buffed a bit, but he's still a fairly rare sight, so hopefully more of you will take him out for a spin. I hope you enjoyed the build, and be sure to let me know how it works out for you in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.